Okay, guys, girls, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching this from. So tonight, myself and James are going to host a very, very quick training around layering, around mindset, around securing the profits for those of you who are relatively new to this space and for those of you who are just looking, to kind of grow as we go. Because we're seeing a lot of fresh faces coming in. We're seeing the results increase. We're seeing profit shots increase day in, day out. And what we want to really do is just have that clear box vision to make sure that every single one of you feel 100% confident how to get in, how to get out, and also making profits along the way, because it's fantastic having these insane win rates that we've got, the re-entries that we're doing, everything like that. But if you're not making money along the way, you're feeling a little confused. We had an amazing training, at the weekend, which Matthew delivered. There was nearly 500 of you on that call. And off the back of that, what we really realized is that we've gone from here to here really, really quickly. And some of you along the way maybe are sat on a step that you shouldn't be sat on. You maybe don't know how to place trades. You maybe don't know how to layer effectively. You don't know how to calculate pips. Some of the more basic things when it comes to trading. So that's what tonight's call is going to be about, is to help you master your entries, master them re-entries, and make money along the way. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to bring James up on here with me, just so that me and him can go through some stuff. I'm going to get him to unmute so that he can go through and rock and roll with everything. I'm going to get rid of my ugly mug, and I'm going to let you take it away, my friend. So, crack on.
Good evening, ladies and gents. I hope everyone is well. Brad, can you make me host so I can share my screen if that is okay with you?
Done, mate.
So, guys, I hope everyone is well. I appreciate you guys coming on. I appreciate Bradley, for hosting this training and, giving me the opportunity to try and provide you guys with some value. Let me just figure this thing out. Bear with me. 1 second. Let me share the screen this way. Okay, cool. All right, guys. So hopefully everyone can hear me. Hopefully everyone can see me. Brad, can you just give me a thumbs up if you can see me? Because I can see you. All right, perfect. So guys, thank you for coming on. Just like Bradley mentioned, we had a really amazing training on Sunday night. We were just a bit conscious that maybe some of the information went over some people's heads, which is completely normal and it's completely fine. We've grown so quickly as a community over the last 30 days that we just wanted an opportunity to press pause and midweek during the live market, be able to give you guys as much value that will help you make money, protect your profits, manage your risk, and everything in between. So the first thing that I want to cover, guys, is just briefly to touch on the fact that the forex space is high risk, and it's something that you need to be mindful of. Okay, we are in a high risk space. However, if you implement the information that we go through today, you will understand how you can navigate this space as safely as possible. Because in forex, there is only one thing that you can control, and that is how much money you are risking in the trade. You can't control anything else. You can have the best strategy in the world with the best track record. The only thing that's in your control is how you manage your risk. Okay, so that is the first thing that I want to share. We're in a high risk space, and it's always important to be mindful of that. The next thing that I want to discuss is the fact that we are working with you. And this is so, so important. Now, before I was a trader, bear with me, guys, sorry. Yeah, just leave it, that's fine. So before I was a trader, I was a signals provider myself, okay? And I know what it's like when you're in a signals group and sometimes emotions run high, okay? It's the reality. Emotions run high, and it's very easy to feel like we're working against you. And we don't take it personally when you guys get frustrated on times. It's okay, we understand. But what I want you guys to know is we are working with you, okay? For example, let's say that the trader sends a trade, okay? Now, right now, we are trading in unprecedented market conditions. This has never been seen before. This type of movement in gold has never been seen. And our trader is trading key zones, key areas. What that means is that he might type a message, and by the time he's typed the message, the market has already moved. Now, the wrong mindset is to think that oh, we're just trying to add extra pips to our pip count. Guys, let me tell you something. We don't give a flying fuck about our statistics. What we care about is your capital. We don't give a shit about percentage of wins and losses and all of that stuff. Now, of course, we want to have an impeccable track record, but we don't need to manipulate, inflate it, dress it up. It is what it is. Okay. So if we send a trade and the market has moved 30 pips in the time that we're typing, there's literally nothing we can do. Have a look at the 1 minute candle and you will see how big it is as we typed that trade. Okay. What we will do is we will manage as best as we can. We'll look to call a reentry. If it goes to TP, we'll still call it as TP. We're not there to work against you guys. We're there to work with you. And what you have to understand is that there's over 1,000 people in the community right now. Your focus should just be your own trading account, and understand that when you're in a signals community, the most important thing is yourself. And you have to take a responsibility and have a plan for yourself. What I mean by that is, let's say, for example, you are 600 pounds up by 9 o'clock in the morning. Here's how I look at it, okay? Because what you have to understand is that what we're doing is not normal. People don't win like we win in this community. People don't make money like we make money in this community. The strategy that our trader has, most people won't share it because it's invaluable. So if you're up by, 600 pound by 9 a.m. in the morning, guys, you can stop trading. Just because another signal comes, you don't have to take it. Imagine if you've robbed a bank and you've made 600 pound, because that's effectively what you've done. You've robbed the bank because that's who you're trading against. You're trading against the institutions, the hedge funds, the JP Morgans, the Citibanks. So you've robbed the bank of 600 pound and you think, I know, I'm going to go back for some more. Just because another signal comes, it doesn't mean that you have to take it. Okay. So be mindful that your own account is yours and you do whatever you want to do. Okay. We're going to be here. We're always going to send trades at every opportunity, but it's your decision and your responsibility as to what you want to do. Now, moving on, what lot size to use? This is so important. And if you guys have a pen and paper, I want you guys to maybe take some notes. Now, what lot size to use is one of the most common questions that we will get on support. Now, the answer is this: how much are you willing to risk per trade? Okay, that is the answer to the question. How much are you willing to risk per trade? Because you shouldn't base your order size on what you are willing to earn. You should base it on what you are comfortable to lose. Now, let's say, for example, that the entry is the lower blue line here, okay, 32.20. Now, the stop losses are always 100 pips from the best entry and around 80 pips from the worst entry. Okay, so let me explain to you how this works, because once you understand this, if you don't already, you will know how to calculate your risk. So let's say, for example, that we have got into a trade idea. Okay, let's say that it's a sell. And the entry range is given as 32.20 to 32.22 as an example, okay? 32.20 to 32.22, and it's a sell. The stop loss is at 32.30. Now, as a range of pips, that's 80 to 100 pips, okay? 80 to 100 pips. If you enter at 32.20, it's 100 pips to stop loss. If you've entered at 32.22, it's 80 pips to stop loss. Now, if you use a 0.1, okay, you enter with a 0.1, just a 0.1 on its own, and it hits stop loss, that's $100 that you will lose. Are you comfortable with 100? If yes, you're good to use that lot size. If the answer is no, you cannot use that order size. If you use a 0.01 and it hits a stop loss of 100 pips, that's $10 or £10 that you will lose. Okay, so you can calculate everything in between. 0.02 on 100 pips is going to be $20. This is how you should be calculating your order size. Don't look at the screenshots of what people made and then judge your order size based off of what you'd like to make. Okay, I've been trading for 6 years And I would be terrified to use some of the order sizes that I see some of you guys using. I don't use those order sizes on a six-figure account. And some of you guys are using these order sizes with 500 quid. Okay, now let me give you an example. 0.5. If a zero point 0.5 hits stop loss of 100 pips, that's 500 British pounds. Are you comfortable to lose five? Some of you are smirking because you're like, shit, I did that last week. If you are comfortable to lose 500 pounds, then by all means, you go ahead. Okay. But if not, this is the time to change your order size. So very, very important. I hope that made sense. Now, I want to talk to you guys about how to enter the trade. Okay. Now, when the trade idea comes out, this is what I do. Okay. I can't tell you guys what to do. I'm going to tell you what I do and why I do it. Now, I will enter the trade the first time twice. Okay. So let's say, for example, the first trade comes of the day. Okay. Now I will enter, for example, a 0.02 and another 0.02. The first order size I will set to TP1. The second order size I will leave with an open TP. And of course, I set the stop loss on both the trades. Okay. Now, what that means is that I am in this trade for 0.04 at the moment. At the moment, I'm in this trade for 0.04 because I've entered both times at 32.20. Now, here's what you guys have to understand. I don't know if the market is going to pull back and fill the entire zone. The trader doesn't know. Nobody knows. Okay, nobody knows. All you know is what's in front of you. You enter the trade. And this is why you have to have a uniform approach for every trade. Sometimes it's going to fill the entire zone. Many times it won't. Okay. Many times it will. Many times it won't. Sometimes it's going to take off. Sometimes it's going to run to TP3. Sometimes it's going to run to stop loss. Nobody knows. All you can do is have the same approach and know that over 50 trades, 100 trades, it will average out. So let's say I'm in this trade now, 32.20. This is a sell. Okay. I'm in the trade at 32.20. TP1 is at 32.16. Okay. So 40 pips for TP1, which is standard. Okay. That's every TP1. Now, let's say that the trade does pull back. Okay. And it goes to 32.22 and I want to enter again. Okay. So now I've entered another 0.02. Okay. I've entered another 0.02. I'm leaving the TP open. Okay. But I've got my stop loss in place. Okay. Now I am in this trade for a total of 0.06 right now. The first two entries have a 100 pip stop loss. So that's 100 pips at 0.04. Okay, I hope I'm not losing you guys. 100 pips at 0.04. So if this trade hits stop loss, that's $40 on those two entries. The third entry, which is at 32.22, is 80 pips away from stop loss. So 80 pips times 0.02 is a further $16. Okay, so right now I am in this trade for $56. Now, when you know what you're in the trade for, there is never a need to panic because you're comfortable with the risk. If this trade hits stop loss as it stands, I will lose $56. And this is why there's no need to be fearful. If you're comfortable with $56, there's no need to be fearful. The fear comes in when you have no idea what you're in the trade for, okay? Because you don't know how to calculate the pips. You don't know how to manage your risk, which is fine. That's the purpose of this call. Now, how would I manage this trade from here? Now, once, for example, this 32.22 trade comes back, okay? It comes back down and fills the zone. Here's what I will personally do. And again, I can't tell you guys what to do, but here's what I will do, okay? If the market comes back now and cross two, I will take out one or two of these original trades, okay? They're going to be in a small profit or break even. So I'm going to take out one or two of these trades. You can take out one, you can take out two. That's up to you as long as you understand the consequences. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my stop loss at break even on the higher position. Okay, so this is my stop loss. This was the other trade that's running, and the market is now somewhere down here. Okay, now if this trade goes to TP1, it's going to be 60 pips at 0.02, and I'll make $12 from that trade. Now, whatever you guys do is up to you, but I need you to understand how much money you're in the trade for, because here's what most people are doing right now. What most people are doing right now, because you've understood that there's 3 take profits, which is great. And what you want to do is have an opportunity to get each of those 3 take profits, which again is great, but you have to understand what you're doing. You are entering 3 times typically on 0.1 because that's your normal order size. And you're entering at 32.20, which is where the signal came out. Now, if this trade hits stop loss here, 0.1 times 3 is 0.3. Okay, if the trade hits stop loss of 100 pips, that's $300 or pounds. Are you comfortable to risk $300 or pounds in this trade? For the most part, the answer is going to be no, because that will blow your account. Now, the reason you've done this is because you've set TP1, you've set TP2, and you've set TP3, which makes sense. But here's why this is a very high risk approach, because this is what's happening at the moment. You entered 3 positions here with 3 take profits. Then the market pulls back. The market pulls back to say 32.22. And then what's happening, or what should happen, is you should enter again. Now, the reason you haven't entered again is because you're already in the trade deeper than you wanted to be. By this point, if it goes back 20 pips and you're in 3 times at 0.1, you're $60 in the red already. Now, has anyone experienced the following? And type a 1 in the chat box if you have. A message comes in from the trader and it says, plus 30 pips, set BE if you wish. And you're thinking, what the fuck? I'm still in red. What's this? And this is where you start to think, nah, man, these guys are working against me. They're cheating me. How can these guys do this? They're manipulating it. They're telling lies. Have any of you guys ever felt like that? 100%. Why? Because you're doing it wrong. You're not layering. You're not layering because you've already gone too heavy on the first entry. You have to layer. If you don't layer, you're not going to get the same results out of this trade, because when it pulls back 30 or 20 pips, you need to enter again there, so that when the market then goes into profit or close to your original entry, you can cut those ones out if you want, and you're now risk-free. You let this top entry ride, you put your stop loss to break even, and you can take profit whenever you want, okay? Right now, there's a mentality of waiting for TP1, okay? And there's nothing wrong with that, but you have to understand the risk and the consequences on both sides. Now, imagine you're walking down the street and you see a £50 note. There's nobody around. You're literally in the middle of nowhere. There's a £50 note on the floor and you say, you know what? I'm going to leave that there and I'm going to come back when it's £80. So you walk around a little bit, you come back and the £50 is gone. That's what it's like when you say, I'm waiting for TP1, and then it goes back to break even and you've got absolutely fuck all. Okay, you could have had £50, but you decided not to take it. You decided not to take it. Not me, not the trader, not the market. Listen, £50 is a lot of money, man. Some people work hours to make £50, but when it's numbers on a screen, you're thinking, no, I'm going to wait for it to get to 80. Now, if you understand the risk, how to layer, and how to manage your trade, fair enough, wait for TP1. But if not, understand you're here to make money, man. Stop trying to be a professional trader overnight. Yes, in time, of course, but for now, you're here to make money. Okay, so whether you wait for TP1, TP2, TP7000, understand the risk. And the only thing you can control is your risk. Now, as you've seen, re-entry trades will be called. So let's say that we're 5 pips from TP1. You don't have to wait for TP1. You can get out that trade. If it comes back to entry and a re-entry is called, perfect, enter again. Now, this brings me on to my next point, and I'm going to be a couple more minutes before I hand it over to Brad. Now, with regards to how and when should I re-enter, you should only re-enter the trade if you have taken profits on the previous one. So let's say the trade goes 30 pips up. It missed TP1. It didn't hit TP1, okay? If it comes back to entry, do not re-enter, because then you are just in for 2x risk. And if it hits stop loss, that $100 that you were comfortable with, now it's $200, okay? So do not re-enter unless you have taken profit on the initial trade. The way that gold is moving right now, it's going to do this: 30 pips up, back to entry, 30 pips up, back to entry. That's what it's going to do for the most part. Sometimes it's going to zip to TP, and sometimes it's going to zip to SL. But for the most part, it's going to do 30 pips, 30 pips, 30 pips, 30 pips. That's your opportunity to take some profit, man. You don't have to wait for TP1, because by the time you're waiting, it's back at entry now and you had zero. So again, I'm not telling you guys what to do. I'm giving you guys the information so you understand, because at the end of the day, this is a signals group and we just have to provide you with all the information. Now, how and when to move your stop loss to break even. Okay, now, again, this is just me personally. You guys can do whatever you want to do. Let's say that you're in this position here at 32.22 and it's a sell. Okay, so you want the market to go down. Let's say that it goes 30 pips into profit down to 32.19. Now, what I will do, I don't put the stop loss on entry. If you put the stop loss at the exact entry, you're going to lose money. It's going to be a little bit of red. Put it just below by a few points. Okay, so if it's 32.22, put it at 32.21.7. Okay, just put it a few points ahead to make sure that you don't lose any money. Okay, very, very important. So that's how you move your stop loss to break even. Now, there's something called partial profits, which some of you may be aware of, some of you maybe not. Now, if you do 0.01s, you can't take partial profits because it's the smallest order size. Okay, so there is no partial. If you do 0.02 or bigger, then you can take what's known as partial profits. So let's say, for example, the trade goes 30 pips up and your order size is 0.02. There's going to be $6 on the table. Now, what you can do is click on your MetaTrader, click close, and at the very top, it will ask you how much of the position do you want to close. You can close 0.01, and then that's going to bank you, $3. Okay, now, this is another thing. A lot of people are like, oh, but it was only £5 up. Okay, but if you're on a $300 account or a £300 account, that's more than 1%. And you might not like it, but if it hits stop loss, you're going to complain. You're going to be annoyed. You're not going to be happy. So it is what it is. Now, if, say, for example, you're on a 0.1, okay, you can take partial profits of 0.05. Okay, so 0.1, it's 30 pips up or 40 pips up. That's 40 quid. You take out 0.05, okay? Now you've got 20 quid in the bank that you've made, and you've got another 20 quid that might go to TP2. It might go back to break even, but at least you've left with something. Okay, so that's pretty much me. I didn't want to take too long, but there were just a few things that I wanted to share. So look, Forex is a high risk space. It's important you remember that. We're working with you guys. We're not working against you. If anything, the market is working against us. Okay, but we're working with you. Okay, what lot size to use? We've covered that. Base it on what you're comfortable to lose, not what you want to win. How do you know what you're risking? We've calculated the pips. Okay, it's 100 pips, and that's per position. Okay, if you enter 3 times, it's 300 pips because you've entered 3 times. So whatever your normal order size is, divide it by 4. Okay, because you're going to need at least 4 entries to keep up with these trades. So whatever your normal order size is, if it okay, and do 0.02 and then 0.03 on one. How many trades should I open? Me personally, 2 at entry and then another 2 when it layers. Okay, if it pulls back 15 pips, I'll enter then. If it pulls back another 15 pips, I'll enter then and leave it. Let the trade do whatever it's going to do. How and when should I re-enter? Do not re-enter unless you have closed the previous trade. Okay. When to close my trade, again, it's up to you guys. Waiting for TP1, again, it's up to you. We've covered how to move stop loss to break even, and we've discussed partial profits. Okay, so really, those were the things that I wanted to share. I just wanted to get that off my chest. I say it with the aim of trying to help you guys navigate through these markets, because the information that's shared in the group, if it feels like it's working against you, the number one reason is because you're not layering the trades through the zone. Okay, and Bradley's going to cover this in much better detail than me, but because it's 10:30 where I am, I just wanted to get this off my chest and then let Bradley go into real detail and provide the real value. So with that being said, I'm going to pass it back to Bradley. Thank you guys. I'm going to get my Deliveroo now that was at the door. Apologies for that, but we're good to go.
Yeah, I appreciate that, bro. Thank you very much. So, guys, if you got some value from that, just let me know in the chat. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to dig a little bit more into the layering side of things, just so that you guys know exactly what to do, how to do it. But also I'm going to touch on the mindset and the psychology behind this, because 99% of you, in fact, I would say probably close to 100% of the people in here, they've not mastered their mindset around trading. They're still making the same errors over and over again when it comes to placing trades. And one thing that I really want to focus on in here, for those of you who've followed me for a while, you've heard me speak before, 99% of trading is in here. It's the mindset, it's the psychology, it's how you approach the markets. And that there is what will make you money. Those of you who are on here right now who are seeing win after win, result after result, but your account's going backwards, I guarantee you there is something overarching in the back of this that is making you lose money. And typically, 90% of the time, it's to do with money. You're chasing the wrong things. You're going in the wrong direction. So really what I want to do on here is dive into this and kind of just share with you my take on kind of the layering side of things. So I'm going to share with you a trade from today. So hopefully you'll be able to see my screen. If you can, just do me a favor, just pop a 1 in the chat and let me know. That'd be great. There we go, there we go. So this is a trade that was today sent at 1:01 p.m. my time. So that would have been probably 12 in the afternoon for you. So you can see here, the entry was 3221 to 3218. So for those of you who don't understand this, that is what we class as a 30 pip range. So 18, 19, 20, 40 pip range. My maths there was terrible. So a 40 pip range. So what this means is that as this goes down, you see the lines here, the green lines, there is 4 potential entry zones as we get into this trade. Does that make sense? So as we go through this, there's 322 of you on this call. I want you to be interactive in the chat, because this is the stuff here that's going to make you money, right? So as we go through, can you guys all see the green lines? Can you see the blue lines and the red lines, right? You can see that we've got take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3, open, stop loss. This was sent at 1:01 p.m. What a lot of you are doing is you're placing your trades, and when you're opening your MetaTrader 4, this is literally you. You're getting your phone out, right? And you go into your MetaTrader, trade's being sent, and you're right, it was a buy, right? Gold. Where's gold? Where's gold? We only trade gold, guys. So delete AUD, JPY, remove Euro, USD off there, remove all the other currency pairs. We only trade gold. If you've got other fucking currency pairs on there right now, you're in other groups. You're bombarding your brain with 65 different things that doesn't make sense. Follow the money. Trust me, if this wasn't making me cash, I wouldn't be sitting here at 8:30 on a night. So delete everything off. Go into your phone, open up MetaTrader, delete off every other currency pair, and just leave gold. The trade comes through. I want you to think of this like a race. Who's the quickest to get to that trade? Some of you will say, oh, well, the statistics that you've sent out on that trade, they were wrong. The entry point was this. We've said buy. The market is moving that quickly. Sometimes the stop loss might be wrong. Sometimes take profit 3 might be wrong. But you guys have to get to that as quickly as you can and place the trade. So you go over there, you go on, you press buy or sell. Quick. Trade is placed. You then go back on to where the active trade is running. You hold it down. You click on modify. Then you put your stop loss in. Then you put your take profit in. And guess what? If it's run that quickly and it's already hit take profit, guess what? You just close the thing. No worries. But some of you are taking too long to place the trade. Then you're in our inbox like, oh, guys, it's already hit take profit 1. Yeah, it took you 6 hours to place the trade, right? So let me go back to my screen share and just show you this. I wanted to get that off my chest real quick because I see a lot of it. So now it's 1:01 p.m. for me here, okay? So I'm just going to go across 1. The trade is now entered. So we sent this trade at 1:01 p.m. We take profit as 32.24. So let's just play this out a little bit. I want to play this with you so you can see it. So after 1, 2, 3, 4 minutes, trade's already hit take profit, 5 minutes in. So for those of you who were late, you were at work, you were looking after the kids, you were doing something, this is where you're thinking, I've missed it. Oh, I can't get into that trade anymore. Fucked it. Like, oh, you've entered late. Oh, I can't get in. No worries. There's always re-entries. You can see here, 1:17 p.m. So what I want you guys to do in the chat right now, who caught that initial trade? Share it. Like, if you caught that trade, let me know. Because I want to see plenty of you taking this trade. I want you to get to a point where your boss is telling you to get off your fucking phone during the day because you're on it all the time. And I want you to get to a point where you can turn around and say, get fucked, I'm making more money than I am doing this shit that I don't enjoy. Okay? Maybe not, let's not get you sacked right now, but let's plan that for 12 months' time, all right? So in 12 months' time, we're in a position where we can say adios to the boss, right? So at this point, the trade has run. It's hit take profit. You could be out of the trade. But let's say you missed it. At 1:17, there was a re-entry. At 1:17, again, you might think, man, it's already gone from 20 to 22. So that in 1 minute, this is exactly what James was saying here earlier. That's a 25 pip move, nearly 30 pips. So the entry zone between here and here is 40 pips. So again, if you're trading that on whatever lot size, 30 pips, if you're trading that at 0.1, that's $30. So at this point, if you weren't able to get in here, no problem, re-entry at 20. You could have got into this trade then because it still hasn't gone to take profit. Also at this point, 3219 has triggered. So at this point here, if you're not in a position where you can be at your phone all the time, you can set what we call buy limits. So you can set the buy limits to trigger at 3230, at 3220, 3219, 3218. So all of these here are potential buy limits. Okay? So then when the market comes down and does its thing, which it does, right? All of these zones end up getting filled near enough, bar maybe 1 or 2. Right, okay, here. At 150, we're in from this point here at 3221. We're in from 3220, 3219, and 3218, which is our entry zone. Some of you, your ass is going like this, right? Because you're thinking, shit, I'm over leveraged. I'm 40 pips in drawdown. I'm worrying. I'm panicking. I've over leveraged. Yada, yada, yada. I can't afford to lose this much money. But then what happens is trade pushes. At this point here, this is where I want you guys to learn this and understand this. This trade, these trades from down here, they're 10, 20, 30 pips up. This trade from down here is 10, 20 pips up. This one from down here is 10 pips up. The initial one is at break even. So if you decided right now at this exact point, man, I over leveraged a little bit there, did too much. You've got 10, 20, 30 pips, 40, 50, 60 pips. You can wipe it off, break even on the top one. You've banked 60 pips. You're out of the trade, no dramas. But then you might think, actually, I want to wait Because here, you know, you can see at 222 again, you don't know what's coming. A little bit further down the line, 215, we've gone and we've absolutely smashed through take profit. So at this point here, we're 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 pips up, 50 pips up, 40 pips up, 30 pips up. If you didn't take it off and you just waited for take profit. So this re-entry here, boom, done. Next one comes in, 222. All the way down here. And I think he even wrote at this point, it was at 19 when it got sent. Because we don't want you guys thinking we're working against you. So here, you could have re-entered at 19 and thinking, right, okay, you might just enter one position at this point. Because this is the initial pending order here, right? These are the initial pendings. Re-entry comes again. So now, let's say we get up to take profit 1, take profit 2, take profit 3. For me personally, you cannot go broke taking profits, guys. You cannot go broke taking profits. Yes, you might miss a 600 pip trade. You might miss a 9 million pip trade. But guess what? If you've banked 50 quid on this trade here, 50 quid. Yes, you might do all this bit here, and then you get another 50 quid. Re-entry. You might get another 50 quid here. Another re-entry here. You might get another. So this one trade could have paid you £200, hypothetically. But some of you are trying to go for the home run. Some of you are trying to go for the slam dunk and try and take every fucking penny out of the market. You don't need 100%. You want an 80% of the move, in my opinion. That's what I look for. I don't look for 100%. So this trade here at 222 got a little bit, you know, squeaky bum time down here. It went to 14. Stop loss is at 211. We're 30 pips away from stop loss. And then a re-entry was called at 40. So what this means here is that you could have entered and entered again. The criteria of the trade is exactly the same. At this point here, you shouldn't have 10 trades on. You shouldn't have two from here. You shouldn't have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 trades on. You should be banking profits, banking profits, banking profits as you go. Because if you get to a point where you're holding all of these trades, everyone else around you is making money. Everyone else around you is catching pips. They're making profits. They're growing their accounts. But you're holding on to everything to hope that it comes back for that slam dunk that's going to make you all this money and you're going to double your account in 4 hours. But then we hit that 1 stop loss, that 2 stop loss, and it cripples you because you've over leveraged, you've over traded, you weren't aware of how much you were risking per trade. Your mindset and your psychology is all over the place. But then if you were patient, hello, again, you might have to sit in this trade. But again, at this point here, guess what you're already happy with? You're already happy with this entry from 19 down here that's up nearly 100 pips. If in my opinion, if you're not cashing out trades that are 100 pips or taking partial profits and you're new to the trading game, in my head, there's something wrong. Yes, you can see that we take 400, 500 pips out of the market in one fell swoop. But what if you catch 50, 60, 50, 60, 50, 60 along the way? It might not be 600, but it still might be 300, 400, 500. But then eventually, look what happens. Do we nearly hit stop loss? Close. Very close. Right? But then we go on. And we go on. Again, these could have been re-entries here, in my opinion, a little bit later on in the day. But again, I'm not sending the trades, so I'm not pinging that to you guys. But again, if we just play this out a little bit quicker, put that on 5x speed, and you'll go to where we are today, right? So like all of these re-entry zones potentially back here, if they don't fit the criteria, sometimes he won't call them. But again, these could have all been little 30, 40, 50, 60 pips, 30, 40, 50, 60 pips. I don't even know what time it is now. What time are we on now? 8:40. But you're going to see something where it rockets up. There we go. The question I ask you guys, and I say this from the bottom of my heart, you guys are at work, some of you. I know some of you are very fortunate right now where you don't work. The vast majority of you are at work from 9 a.m. until 5. Every single day. You start your day at 9. And again, I want you guys to correct me if I'm wrong with this. Okay. Who here, when the end of their shift happens at 5:01, whose boss is giving them cash in their hand for that work that they've done that day? I'm going to wait for the chat on that one. No one. Nobody is waiting with the cash in hand for you at the end of the day. You can work at your job. You can take these trades, make 30, 40, 50 quid, 30, 40, 50 quid. Some of you are making hundreds. Some of you are making thousands, which is sick. I want as many of you to be making money as possible. But what I need you guys to get into the mentality of here, you guys are working for 1 month in advance. 1 month. 1 whole calendar month before that cash hits your bank and the tax man takes some. The rent goes out, the food goes out, the kids need nappies. The basic shit comes out your bank every month, but you work 1 month in advance for it. Some of you guys cannot be patient for 2 hours in a trade. You cannot be patient for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours because you're over-leveraged, your mindset's off, your psychology's all over the place, you're over-leveraging, you're over-trading. Some of you have got a 60-day invoice period on here. So you guys are waiting 2 months until the work is done, until you get paid. So if you start adding that discipline in, you're not going to have it at the beginning. That's why we're saying to you, don't be afraid to take profits. Because if you get into that mentality where you're okay making money, it becomes easily and effortlessly. If you feel like you're over trading, if you feel like you're over leveraging, if you feel like, you're in a position where, oh my God, if this goes wrong, this will be getting checked. I want you guys to go onto your phone right now. I want you to go into your settings. And I want you to find how long per day you're spending on MetaTrader 4 or 5. And if it's hours, you have an addiction, right? You have something wrong with you. You do not need to be looking at the charts all day, every day. You need to see a Telegram notification come through. Oh, buy, modify position, boom. Put a few buy limits in. Oh, enjoy the rest of my day. Go for a coffee, have some lunch, be at work. If you're spending, and again, I want you guys in the chat to be honest. Who here has an addiction to this, but not on Instagram, TikTok, all that other stuff, Tinder for some of you? Who here has got an addiction to looking at their phone? The amount of times that I nearly died driving a car at speeds that I shouldn't have been driving at whilst checking MetaTrader 4 for the cost of a pack of skips. A 90 pence drawdown trade at the beginning used to worry me. I used to get scared. I used to get anxious of, oh my God, I'm going to lose money because I didn't know what was at risk. I was driving down the motorway, like driving with my knees, scrolling on MetaTrader 5 because I had 65,000 trades open, thinking if this taps me out on stop loss, I've got to reload again for the 65th time. And I'm telling you, I say this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again. Your accounts will blow for an amount of money that means something to you. 500 quid might be fuck all right now. You might not care. You can reload again because you know you get paid in a month. But when it starts to get to 3, 5, 10, 15, 20, 30, 40, 60, 80, 100 grand, they're the numbers where it starts to hurt. They're the numbers where you'll take note. They're the numbers where you'll pay attention to how you're thinking. And I say this to you with the greatest of respect, like you need to understand how you're thinking. The vast majority of the population today does not think. They don't. They're consumed by this. They're told what they think through this. They follow trends through this. Their social circles doing exactly the same. But if you can be that individual that understands, right, I've had a shit day at work, boss has pissed me off, I burnt my tea, I'm not going to trade. Or I'm going to lower my lot size. Something along those lines where you become aware. Because as a human being, that is where you will level up as a person. Because people look at money that people are earning, and again, you might look and see, wow, Brad's got a great lifestyle. 10 years ago, I didn't. 5 years ago, I didn't. I had to become the version of me today through eating the shit, through blowing accounts, through losing money, through making bad investments, through repeating the same processes over and over and over and over again. Guys, girls on the call, who here has had that relationship where, oh, they're always the same. You might be dating someone and at the beginning they've got the mask on, they've got the suit of armor on, they look great. You know, the guys or the girls. A month in, the armor comes off, the chinks start to come in, right? You start to see that other version, but you're telling them, oh, they're all the same. They're all the same. They're all the same. That's why you attract what you think, what you speak. So why not attract that version of you where it's opulent, where it's making money, where it's confident placing trades, where it's happy for the money that it's making. It's not greedy. Once you get to that position, 6 figures is a piece of piss. You don't need to be trading with 10 standard lots like some of you mad bastards are. You don't need to be. I'm trading with sometimes 0.2, 0.5, a standard lot. Depends on what I'm doing. But I've come to realize that if I'm busy, like today I've had 11 meetings. I've spoke to just under 200 people on text messages, WhatsApp, Instagram, Telegram, physical people in person, emotionally draining shit all day. Guess what? This hasn't really been on. Today, I've placed a few trades that came into the group and I've made 1,559 quid. I don't know if you guys can see that. Because I know that if I'd have been on my phone in between meetings, in between driving, in between doing this, being stressed, you know, my puppies are 12 weeks old. If I'd have been in, I'd have blown my account. And that's not an account I want to blow. I'm telling you that now. Right? So if you understand where you are right now, what makes you triggered, what emotional cycles you go through as a person, because we all go through them, what makes you tick, and you understand how to layer effectively, you understand how to get out of the trade properly, you understand banking profits, this will be a piece of piss. But if you're in your headspace, angry, emotional, brain fog all the time, you will make the wrong decisions, you'll enter the wrong trades, your stop loss will be in the wrong place, your take profits won't get hit because they're at TP 69 million because you're looking for the home run. And again, a lot of you are writing in the chat that that's you. That's me. That's me. Again, write that down. Journal about it. Some people feel weird about journaling and writing down their feelings. No one sees it, yet 99% of you who do it will lie to yourself, right? My first ever journaling session, I was writing my journal. And after about 3 or 4 lines, I was like, that's a load of shit. I'm actually physically lying to myself whilst journaling to myself. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. But if you can do that, how many people do you think we get on support saying, oh, the internet went down and I placed 65,000 trades? A lot, right? How many of you have made excuses as to why you've got extra trades on, why you've over-leveraged, why you've done it by mistake when you have to physically click at the top and change the numbers? Because I see some of you saying, oh, I went from a 0.01 to a 0.53. Do you know how many clicks you have to do at that point? To go from a 0.01 to a 0.53, you have to go 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It's a lot of errors. What really happened was, got a bit confident. You made some money. You over leveraged. That's okay too, but admit it to yourself. Don't lie and then be pissed off when you lose money. Like all of this stuff that I teach from my side mainly is to do with psychological, emotional awareness to your own trading. Buying and selling is easy. Getting out in profit, easy. Am I okay losing money? 100%. But I want you guys in the chat right now, does this relate to a lot of you? Does this relate to some of you where you're like, actually, that makes sense. I've done that before. I've 100% messed up. And those of you who daren't type in the chat, it's coming directly to me. You might need to actually say it on this call to get it off your chest. And just be like, yeah, I fuck up sometimes. I over leverage. I overdo it. Right? I messed up a lot. I fucked up today. Absolutely, I'm trading with no stop losses. Right? And again, I'm real and raw. I will tell you how it is. And sometimes some of you can tell when I'm on the chat. Because sometimes I'm a dickhead. Right? But sometimes you need to hear it. I can't be sat there like, oh, it's okay. Everything's going to be all right. Don't worry. Like sometimes you need, no, you fucked up. If you keep doing it, you're going to blow your account. Right? Okay, there was a lot of messages that came through then. There's a lot of messages. So if this resonates with you whilst you're doing it, these calls, I want to do on a regular basis. I want to go through and keep showing you behind the scenes, the emotions that come with it. I'm going to get plenty of testimonials in here because there's people in here that have been with me since 2018, making insane money. There's some people that have been with me since 2018, still making mistakes, still not making money, but they're growing along the way. And I want you guys to look at the journey that you're on right now, the career that you're in, the work that you're doing. You've been doing it since you were a certain age. So this isn't going to be a get rich quick. This isn't going to be an overnight miracle. Do we provide insanely successful trading results? Yes. But past profits do not guarantee future results. So 2 stop losses is not normal, but it's going to happen. Back-to-back stop losses, not normal, but it's going to happen. Right now, gold doesn't know whether it wants its pants up or its pants down. Hopefully, we're on the right side of it and we don't get fucked, right? That's the key. So as we go through this, I want as many of you to feel comfortable on this journey with us, to feel comfortable asking questions. You know, I always say closed mouths don't get fed, but that doesn't mean don't follow the instruction and then ask stupid questions on the back end, right? If you're over leveraging and over trading and losing money, take ownership of it. Be the person who's like working on that inner self as well, you know? So I want as many of you to feel comfortable as we're doing it. We're going to go through and, you know, help guide, hold the hand as much as we need to throughout these markets, throughout everything that's happening in the world. And I implore you, turn the news off, turn the radio off, delete the outside noise, get rid of the people who are negative around you, and watch how easy trading becomes. So guys and girls, I appreciate every single one of you taking the time out. Hopefully you got some value tonight. If you did, and any of you have taken print screenshots, whatever it is, tag us on the socials. Let us know that you enjoyed it. And I want to start getting the word out a lot more. We've gone from like 700-800 clients to over 1,200 in the last 3 to 4 weeks, which is absolutely insane. So I appreciate every single one of you that are enjoying this, that are along for the journey, that are getting in the mix, that are making money. So I appreciate every single one of you. Have a blessed evening, guys. See you soon. Good night. Bye-bye.